Have you ever thought about your inner life, your emotions and well-being, not as some kind of battlefield, but as something you can actually cultivate? Well, today, we're going to dive into that exact idea. We're going to explore this really powerful metaphor by walking through a beautiful poem from Celia Burrell called The Garden Within. So the poem kicks off with this really simple, but honestly pretty profound line. Right away, it's asking us to completely reimagine our heart. It's not just an organ, it's a place that has potential, a place that's just waiting for us to tend to it. It sets such a personal, contemplative tone for this whole journey. And that really gets to the core question we're looking at today. What if we just shifted our whole perspective? I mean, instead of constantly fighting our feelings, what if we just focused on creating the right conditions for good things, for beautiful things, to actually grow? To really unpack that question, we got to start with the foundation of the whole metaphor. So, section 1 is all about this idea of a garden, right there in your heart. What's so amazing here is that the poem doesn't just say the heart is like a garden, it says it's the soil. It's not some static, unchanging thing, right? It's a living, breathing ecosystem. It needs our attention, it needs our care, and just like real soil, it has all this incredible potential to produce life. Basically, the poem is telling us that we are all gardeners of our own heart. Okay, so let's build on that. If our heart is the garden soil, what are the things that actually help it grow? Let's get into the elements of growth. What I love is how realistic the poem is about the climate in this garden. It says that beauty and growth, they happen in fits and starts. It's not this smooth, perfect, predictable upward line. It's sudden, it's irregular. You might have these moments of sprinting ahead and then times where things just kind of pause. And that's okay. It totally normalizes the messy, unpredictable journey of just being human. So where do the actual flowers in this garden come from? Well, the poem has this really fascinating idea about their source. It's the kindness and the positivity that we get from other people. And you can really see that connection laid out here. The smiles people give us, those become the actual petals of the flowers growing inside us. And that word bowers, it suggests that these little acts of kindness come from other people's own places of peace and comfort. It's a beautiful way of saying that our inner world isn't isolated. It's deeply, deeply connected to the community and the people all around us. So we have the soil and we have the flowers. But what makes it all work? What's the engine, the fertilizer that powers this whole garden? Well, the poem points us to something it calls the cycle of hope. Now, this is where it gets really clever, because the poem kind of flips the whole farming idea on its head. See, normally you plant seeds to get a harvest, but in this garden, hope itself is the fertilizer. It's described as nutritious, and it's the thing that gives you the seeds to plant in the very first place. Hope is the generative force that kicks the whole thing off. And what that creates is this incredible self-sustaining cycle. Just look at this loop. It starts with hope, which gives us the seeds. Those seeds then go on to feed our spirit. And when our spirit is well fed, what can it do? It can tend the garden, which in turn creates an environment for even more hope to grow. It's this continuous, nourishing loop that just keeps on giving. Okay, so we understand the garden, we understand its cycle of growth, but where is all this cultivation actually taking us? What's the destination? Well, the poem suggests we're on a path to our soul. And how do we move along that path? The poem gives us a very specific tool: gratitude. And it's not just a passive feeling of being thankful. No, here, gratitude is an active agent. It's the catalyst that actually propels us forward. Thankfulness becomes a conscious strategy. It's the vehicle that we use to navigate our inner landscape and get to where we want to. And what is that final destination? To touch the island of my soul. I mean, what powerful imagery, right? An island is distinct, it's complete, it's a solitary place of true self-knowing. The poem just beautifully shows that the garden is the path we cultivate day by day, but the soul, that's the ultimate destination. Okay, so let's step back for a second and see how all of these different pieces fit together. Because this isn't just a collection of pretty images. The poem actually gives us a really clear framework. You could even call it an architecture of well-being. It's like a personal roadmap for cultivating a flourishing inner life. And this diagram, it just lays the whole thing out for us. Think of it as your own personal toolkit for well-being. It all starts with the location, your heart, the garden itself. Then it's nourished by a really important external input, those smiles, that kindness from other people. The whole system is powered by an internal fuel, that nutritious hope we talked about. To actually move through this landscape, you have a vehicle, the conscious practice of gratitude. And all of this work, all this tending and traveling, leads to a profound destination, your soul, a place of deep self-awareness and peace. It's just such a powerful model for understanding how things from the outside and virtues from the inside can work together to build a really resilient and beautiful inner world. So, as we wrap up our little journey through The Garden Within, the poem leaves us with a simple but pretty profound question. Knowing that our inner world is this garden that we can actually cultivate, the question for all of us, for you, becomes this: what seeds are you planting today?